This is WENY News at 11.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Aisha McKenzie. Thanks for choosing WENY News at 11. Fracking, an issue that's divided opinions across the southern tier. And after years of controversy, protesting, and countless studies, New York State has finally given us an answer on fracking. WENY's Leanne DeRosa joins us live in the studio with reaction to the announcement. Leanne?
Aisha, early next year, the Cuomo administration will move to prohibit fracking in the state, which has been under moratorium since 2008. Among the reasons, unresolved health issues and questionable economic benefits. While today's decision was a sigh of relief for many, it was also a letdown for many others. For New York farmers, the possibility of fracking meant profit.
The life of a Marcellus well per acre that they're averaging right now in Pennsylvania could be as much as $33,000 an acre.
Many farmers across the state leased their land, hoping one day fracking would be allowed. Now that day won't come anytime soon. Asher Terwilliger, president of the Chemung County Farm Bureau, says although he had the opportunity to lease his land, he never did because the deal wasn't right. But for those who have signed leases, the next step is still unknown. But Terwilliger says the benefits would have gone beyond just the farmers.
Every business in the area where they're drilling is booming. They're building new businesses. If the general public would realize this money multiplies as it passes through the area.
And the county feels the same way. County Executive Tom Santulli says being on the border of Pennsylvania, they've seen slight benefits, but they were ready for more.
But, you know, it certainly doesn't help the investment in the jobs here in New York State. But again, the governor's made a decision, and that's it.
But on the other hand, for many, the possible health hazards were bigger than the economic benefits.
I think that they've made a clear decision that the environmental and public health hazards of shale fracking cannot be managed. They're not even known fully. And so they've made a very, very historic decision.
The Department of Environmental Conservation will put out a final environmental impact statement early next year and then issue an order prohibiting fracking. In the studio, Leanne DeRosa, WENY News.
Tioga Downs was not selected as a location for a full-fledged casino in the region. Instead, the board making the recommendation selected Lago Resorts and Casino in Seneca County.
Finger Lakes region, this board recommends Lago Resort Casino in the town of Tyre in Seneca County to apply to the Commission for a gaming facility license.
Lago Resort and Casino is said to feature more than 94,000 square feet with over 2,000 slot machines and 85 table games in the proposal. Lago beat out casinos in Johnson City and, of course, Tioga Downs in Nichols, which was already established and ready to expand if given the green light. Village of Nichols Mayor Leslie Pilot says the local racino has been a good neighbor to the village and brought plenty of jobs to the area. Pilot says now she doesn't know what the future will hold.
My thought is, and it had always been, that Tyre is not in the southern tier. Yeah. Route 17 I-86 is the southern tier expressway. And I really don't know. That hasn't been discussed. So I'm not sure what will happen.
Tioga Downs owner Jeff Goral was not available for comment. Today's recommendations still have to be submitted and reviewed by the New York State Gaming Commission before any licenses can be granted.
Well, the flakes are flying across the Twin Tiers tonight. An upper-level low-pressure system passing through the region. Snow blossoming across the region, generally on the light side. A few bursts of heavier snow every now and then. Most spots only looking at between a coating and a half an inch of snow by tomorrow morning. But some of the higher elevations to the north of Elmira could be looking at as much as an inch by daybreak tomorrow. These scattered snow showers gradually taper off through the day tomorrow. And then it looks like drier conditions as we push towards the weekend. 43 are high today, a low of 35. Sunrise tomorrow at 7:30, 4:37. for our sunset. Here's what we're looking at right now at the Elmira Corning Regional Airport. Now 34, so that's our new low for the day. Light snow being reported, westerly winds sustained at 12 miles an hour, current wind chill down to 25. 34 in Corning and in Elmira, so again, this snow having a hard time sticking on the pavement, but as temperatures continue to drop tonight, some of the especially secondary roads could become a bit slick. 30 right now in Erin and 36 in Lakemont. Our first forecast for the rest of the overnight, occasional snow showers down to about 27 degrees, and then for tomorrow, scattered snow showers continue, and it will remain on the breezy side. A 5-degree guarantee of 35, but again, drier conditions for Friday and to start the upcoming weekend. The rest of my forecast, along with a peek at the Christmas Eve forecast in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Joe. It's been 7 months since flash flooding ripped through Penn Yan, and now the village has been working to get back to where it once was. I spoke with a restaurant owner in the village today who is happy to be open again.
Streets and sidewalks that were once broken by flash flooding in May, now repaired. And 7 months later, the village of Penn Yan has made big strides in the recovery process.
Oh, it was just devastating. I mean, when we first came in, we just had no idea how bad it was until we went down cellar and we were like, wow, I was overwhelmed.
The morning after the flood, Donna Neal's restaurant, Angel's Family Restaurant, looked like this. Almost $30,000 worth of damage. Now, months later, Donna says help from the community and a grant from the state helped her to bounce back.
But we've been doing better. You know, we finally got all our equipment back in and got the basement cleaned up, and everything's pretty much kind of back the way it was before.
Looking at Penn Yan today, you only see remnants of the $2.5 million worth of flood damage. And businesses like Angel's Family Restaurant are now hanging open signs.
It happened, and it was wasn't so much we could do about it. We just went along for the ride and did what had to be done.
And luckily for Penn Yan, that ride came with 25% of damages covered by the state and the remaining 75% by FEMA.
Penn Yan has been, well, it's proved to be the wonderful place I knew it was when I grew up here. It's just everybody's just worked together throughout this whole thing.
18 new Amtrak baggage cars departed the CAF USA plant in Elmira Heights for testing today. This is the first major delivery of new cars and the first built for Amtrak. It's part of a contract for 130 new passenger cars being built for Amtrak's popular long-distance services. CAF is also building 25 dining cars, 25 sleeping cars, and 10 baggage cars. Chemung County Executive Tom Santulli says this project has been huge for the community.
This has put a lot of people to work. I don't think everybody realizes there's approximately 800 people working at this plant. They have other contracts beside this, but this has been a big, exciting project.
A second shipment of cars will depart on Friday. Truck safety improvements continue in the city of Ithaca after a tractor trailer drove into a restaurant on the Commons, killing a woman back in June. Ithaca's Mayor Savante Myrick and the Joint Work Group on Truck Safety completed a list of ideas to improve safety in the downtown area. So far, the group has implemented some of those ideas. Trees and brush have been cut down near signs for visibility. Also, signs are being replaced and new ones installed. The group plans to release a full list of its recommendations next year and are looking for public input. Governor Tom Corbett was not reelected to Pennsylvania's governor seat back in November, so what are his future plans? Corbett will step down in January and says he may look into working on a 2016 presidential campaign. He says he has great interest in potential Republican candidates, and Corbett also says he's not settled on any specific candidate, but would be available if the right one seeks his help. And if that doesn't work out, well, Corbett says he may become a teacher. Coming up, what movie is not hitting the box office this Christmas after a threat of terrorist attacks on movie theaters across the nation? And the U.S. has confirmed who is behind the attacks. And here's a look at our Crystal City Skycam in Centerway Square. Joe's full forecast right after the break. You're watching WENY News at 11.